Good evening. This is Old Bull. I'm out here in the stillness of dusk, cigar in hand, boots crossed on the porch rail, watching the last orange light melt into the hills like a prayer no one says out loud. The sky is turning that deep shade of blue that makes you feel small, but in a good way. You ever felt that? Like the world is big enough to carry your pain, but still quiet enough to listen to it. There's a peace out here tonight. Our dogs are rustling around. The wind's pushing the trees just enough to remind me they're still alive. And I thought, maybe you need this moment too. So I lit up this cigar, one of those EP Carrillos, and thought, tonight, I just want to talk. No preaching, just a real, honest conversation. And if you're here with me, whether you're young or seasoned, this message might just light your path during dark times. Life is hard. No dressing it up. No sugarcoating. No filter. It's always been hard. It started hard, back in the garden, where we lost it all. And ever since that day, we've been dragging pain like a busted plow. The earth gives thorns. The sky gives drought. And the world feeds you lies about how life's supposed to be easy. You notice that? Every time you scroll, there's someone showing what success is supposed to look like. Polished, filtered, smiling, rich. And if you're not there, they make you feel like a failure. But you're not. You're just living the real. And the real, my friend, is a battlefield with no audience, no soundtrack, no applause, just dirt, fists, and the sound of your own breath in the dark. Let me tell you something I learned the hard way. A man isn't made by the times he wins, but by the times he keeps showing up, keeps being present. There's a fire inside each of us, not the loud kind, not the kind that explodes. The slow ember, that coal deep in the chest that still glows even when the wind tries to kill it. Sometimes you're the only one tending to that flame. Sometimes no one even sees it flicker. Sometimes you barely feel it yourself, but it's there. And when everything else is gone, strength, money, friends, even peace of mind, that fire is what remains. And if you feed it, even with a whisper of hope, it'll stay alive. Now let's talk about the role we never asked for, but stepped into anyway. The door. That's where a man stands. Between his family and the world. Between his kids and the fire. Between his wife and her storms. Between the chaos and the peace he swore to protect. Sometimes, hell, you even have to stand between yourself and those you love, because some days, the biggest threat to your home is the weight you carry in your own heart. And so, you stay. You take the hits. And no one sees the bruises, not because they're blind, but because you never let them look. That's what real men do. There's a story I've told once or twice about a man who lived near the woods. Every night, the wolves would circle. They didn't always attack, but they got close enough to hear. And every night, that man sat on his porch with a rifle across his lap, just watching. He didn't shoot, didn't scare them off, just sat there, present. Someone once asked him, "Why do you sit there every night?" And he said, "So the wolves know someone's awake." That's you, my friend. You sit at that door day after day, so the wolves of life, depression, failure, exhaustion, doubt, know there's still someone awake inside that house. Let me ask you something hard. How many times have you walked through fire without anyone noticing? How many times have you stayed silent while others slept, guarding them with thoughts you couldn't say out loud? How many times have you smiled when all you wanted was to fall apart. We carry pain like a shadow. We bleed in silence, and the world keeps asking us to smile. You think you're alone in that? You're not. I felt that too. There were days I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the man staring back. Weeks when I spoke to God and heard nothing. Nights I prayed just so I wouldn't feel so damn tired. But I kept going, and so did you. And that, my friend, is what makes us who we are. Some men think the goal is victory. But I say, the fight is the honor. Showing up when you're tired, swinging when you're weak, getting up after the 100th fall. You don't need an audience, you don't need a trophy. You just need to keep going, because behind you, maybe sleeping in a quiet house, is someone you'd die for. And that's more than enough. Now here comes an even harder truth. Sometimes, as men, we don't just protect our families from the world, we protect them from ourselves, from our anger, from our sadness, from our past, from our fear. Ever had to shove your demons so far down they almost choked you? Ever walked into a room with pain written all over your face and still smiled because your kids needed a peaceful dad, not a broken man? Ever kissed your wife on the forehead when your soul just wanted to scream? That right there, that's love. Not the poetic kind, not the movie kind, the sacred kind. You ever seen a fighter in the 12th round? Arms heavy as lead, legs like mud, eyes barely open, heart pounding on whatever strength's left. But still, he gets up. Not because he thinks he'll win, not because it feels good, but because the will to fight is the last thing that dies in a real man. I've been there, so have you. You don't feel like a hero. You don't look like one. You look like hell. But you fight like heaven's watching. Let me be blunt. If you're bleeding right now, it's because your heart is still beating for someone other than yourself. It means there's still love underneath all that weight. It means your soul hasn't gone cold. It means you're still on the front lines. And friend, I'd rather walk with a man limping from love than follow one running from pain. Whatever fight you're in right now, whatever weight you're carrying, know this: it has an end. The bell will ring, the round will finish, and you'll be able to breathe. But until then, keep swinging, keep standing, keep loving, because the ones behind you sleep better knowing you're at that door. And when that round ends, sit with dignity, breathe, regain your focus. And when the next one comes, get up again. Not because it's easy, but because you were born for this. This is Old Bull, sitting under the stars, speaking straight to your soul. You're not alone, friend. You never were. Feel free to share your experience with us in the comments below. I'll see you next time. Stay strong.